Okay, so let's dive into the latest numbers from Canadian immigration because it's a story with a real twist. You see, on the surface, there's some fantastic news about the application backlog. But as we're going to see, that headline, it really doesn't tell the whole story. Let's break it down.
And here it is, the big headline number. For the first time in what feels like forever, the total number of applications in Canada's immigration backlog has finally dipped below 1 million. This has been a huge goal for immigration authorities, so yeah, it's a pretty big milestone.
And let's not downplay this. It really is significant progress. For hundreds of thousands of people just waiting for a decision on their future, a smaller backlog means hope. It means things are actually moving, that the system is starting to catch up. It's exactly the kind of news so many people have been waiting to hear. But here's where the story gets a lot more complicated, because while that overall number is shrinking, the experience on the ground is very, very different depending on who you are and what kind of application you've submitted. This big picture progress, well, it kind of hides a much more complex reality underneath. So to really get what's happening, we need to look a little closer. We've got to break down the two sides of this backlog. Which piles of applications are getting smaller, and more importantly, which ones might actually be getting bigger. And this is where you can see the paradox in action. It's pretty stark. On one hand, you've got work permits and processing there is improving. Things are moving faster. But on the other hand, the trend for study visas is going in the complete opposite direction. Wait times are actually getting worse. Okay, so let's zero in on the group that's really drawing the short straw here, international students. For them, the news isn't about progress at all. It's about a longer, more stressful, and growing wait. And I want to be clear, this isn't some abstract problem for way off in the future. If you are an international student and you're hoping to start your studies in Canada in 2026, this trend of increasing delays is something you've got to be thinking about right now. It has a direct impact on your plans, your finances, your entire timeline. You can really see the shift when you compare how things should work with the new reality. I mean, the ideal path is simple. You apply, you get approved, and you start planning your move. But what's happening now for a lot of students is this long, uncertain wait that could totally force them to delay or even put off the start of their program. So you have to ask, why is this happening? This kind of thing doesn't just happen by accident. Why would one type of application speed up, but while another one slows down so dramatically? Well, the answer seems to be a very deliberate change in strategy. What we're seeing is a direct result of a shift in priorities inside Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. They're making conscious choices about where to put their manpower and their focus, and, well, those choices have consequences. The key concept we're talking about here is resource allocation. Just think of it like this. The Immigration Department has a limited number of officers, a limited amount of time, and limited computer systems. So they have to decide which files get the most attention. It's a strategic choice, and when you focus on one area, it's often at the expense of another. So this is really the crucial point, this clear cause and effect. The priority focus has shifted squarely onto work permits, and that's probably to meet demands in the job market. The result? Faster processing for workers. But the flip side is that study visas have been deprioritized, and the unavoidable result of that is longer, more frustrating waits for students. Okay, so we've looked at the numbers and we kind of understand the why behind it, but what does all of this actually mean for you if you're an applicant? Let's get right to the bottom line. It really is a tale of two different applicants. If you're applying for a work permit, the outlook is pretty good. The system is being prioritized for you, so you can probably expect a more predictable and faster process. But, and this is a big but, if you're a student visa applicant, the message is totally different. You have to be prepared. Plan for significant delays. And if you're targeting 2026, applying way in advance is no longer just a good idea, it's become absolutely essential. And listen, this isn't just our analysis, this is the core takeaway from the data itself. This simple statement really sums it all up. The different outcomes for workers and for students, well, they aren't some bug in the system. They're actually a feature of a new strategy. It's all about a deliberate allocation of resources. And that leaves us with this final thought. Every policy choice, every decision to prioritize one group over another, it creates ripple effects. As Canada strategically manages its immigration system to meet certain goals, like filling labor shortages, it raises a really crucial question about balance.